welcome back to the second part of the show, and as well as the second part of our interview with our guest, Tomasz Raczek, the editor-in-chief of the Polish edition of Playboy. Welcome back.
Hello again.
We're going to take off where we left off last week. We talked a little bit on how the magazine started, celebrating its first anniversary, how you got involved in working for the magazine and that beautiful Polish publisher, and some of your background. Now, we're going to kind of get back on track and talk a little bit about the magazine. And you were mentioning when we left last week that you were able to approach different people to write for the magazine. Who are some of the people that have written for the Polish edition of Playboy? The American edition is known not only for the women and its photography, but also for some of the people that write for its magazine, well-known people in either the business or entertainment, legal professions that write for the magazine. How does the Polish Playboy compare in those areas?
And for excellent interviews, American Playboy. So, of course, we try to be on the same very high level of journalism, and I'm really happy that the best Polish journalists write for Polish edition of Playboy. Well, I don't know. Are the names known?
Well, maybe some,
Chicago?
maybe not.
Well, for example, the film critic is Zygmunt Kałużyński, one of the leading of even the best Polish film critic, and there is Maria Nurowska essays, a Polish excellent writer, and Daniel Passent, for example, writes for us, and Krzysztof Mentrak, unfortunately, is not with us anymore. He died a few months ago. But that's the leading journalists, and also many good young journalists.
So you have a variety of talent to draw from for your publication. Now, kind of backtracking a little bit, we mentioned the various people writing about different things in the interviews and things like that. If someone picked up a Polish edition of Playboy, does it look similar in the format to the American edition? Are there similar things? You mentioned film reviews and critics and interviews and things like that. Is it put together in a similar manner?
The layout is quite the same, and like in American Playboy, you can see at the beginning of the book departments about film and theater and music and Playboy Advisor and Playboy After Hours, all the departments which is Playboy famous of, and also interview. Sometimes we use American interviews, we translate it into Polish, and we do some interviews ourselves. Sometimes they are really hits. I mean,
quite revealing, very kind of dealing with the current topics, hot issues.
Yeah, let me tell you about our last success. It is interview with Mr. Yasser Arafat. This is the only one interview he gave to press. To world press, day before he signed the agreement between Israel and Palestinians.
That's quite amazing. That was for the Polish edition?
Yeah, it was done for Polish edition by Polish journalists in Tunis. And as far as I know, 300 magazines and papers were in the queue for interview with Mr. Arafat, and he didn't agree for any except this one.
Well,
this was because...
This is quite a feat.
Yeah, thanks. I'm very proud of it. This was because we tried to have interview of Mr. Arafat half year ago, and we worked for it 6 months, not knowing, of course, that things are going so good.
In the peace negotiations,
yes,
right.
In the peace negotiations. And by accident, our journalists came to Tunis in the day, in a few days before this particular event, not knowing that it will happen, because, as you know, Mr. Arafat never says that something happened. is too afraid of some
Repercussions,
problems
things that
and
might happen,
terrorists
right.
and so on, what might happen. So it was a big luck. So now
At the right time, at the right place. Right?
Exactly. So now our interview is taken by other editions of Playboy in German, in Brazil, Czech. They reprint our original interview.
Will it appear in the American edition of Playboy?
We'll see, but I think American edition have had Yasser Arafat interview a few years ago, so it is not habit of Playboy, US Playboy, to repeat the same people in interview.
Yeah. Now, switching over on the pictorial side of Playboy, you said in the written part that you take some articles and columns and things and interviews and translate them from the English into Polish for the Polish edition. Who are some of the women that appear in your magazine? Have you had Polish women who have been models who have
posed for us?
For Playboy?
Yes, in the first issue we have had Polish Playmate Malwina Rzeczkowska, who is, well, she's from Warsaw, but her mother lived in Warsaw and her father in New York, in Greenpoint, as far as I know, having business. So she, fortunately for us, she speaks English fluently, what made our work much easier, and she promotes Polish Playboy very well, not only in Poland but also in America, in New York. She visited some parties, Playboy's parties, even as together with Tom Selleck, celebrity Tom Selleck. We put, of course, the pictures of her and Tom Selleck in our pictorial. And I think for her it was something.
Well, I think she'd probably save a picture of Tom Selleck too.
Right.
A big
and
Hollywood
memories,
actor.
not only pictures.
But and how has that progressed? Have you had? You said she was in the first edition.
Yeah.
Have you had any other editions with?
On the October cover, you can see Alicja Rezich-Modlińska. This is cover,
which we have on our studio monitor. Yes.
Right, and well, she's the most popular TV personality of the year.
She hosts a talk show in Poland, right?
Right.
A very popular one at that.
Exactly, and she's beautiful, and she's a very, very good journalist also. So. She told me that she's going to pose for Playboy because she likes to show people that it is nothing wrong posing to Playboy. So she did it, and it was an enormous success of our edition in Poland, because people seeing Alicja on the cover of Playboy say, "Oh my God, I must have it." So it was one of the best sell issues of Playboy.
Now, you said the first edition, and then your latest edition had her. You've used, once again, how is it easier or harder to get? There must be professional models, etc.
No,
just like
not professional models, because if we are looking for Playmates, they shouldn't be professional, because it's a habit. Okay. Playmate is the neighborhood girl from neighborhood, so we are looking for really fresh, really young, and really amateurs, and that's what makes it difficult, because it must be the first time when the girl is going to pose nude for photography, and you know, we don't have really problems with girls. Sometimes we got problems with their mothers saying, "No, come on, you will not go to Playboy." But not so often, because mothers say very often, "You know, when I was young, I dreamed about it too, so perhaps it's your chance, take it." But we have more problems with fathers. Okay. Fathers said, "No, my daughter, never." And even more problems with boyfriends, especially with boyfriends who read Playboys. They love to read Playboys, but they cannot agree
not to have their girlfriend in it.
Yeah, that's right. So you know, it's a sweet hypocrisy, but everything is possible. So we have another Playmate now from Wrocław, a beautiful, beautiful lady, who will pose for December issue of Playboy.
Do you do your photography in Poland,
Yeah.
or do you use there's a certain famous photographers who work for the American edition? Do they work in Poland as well, or do you hire Polish photographers, or who makes up your staff on the magazine?
We have Herb Ritz from American edition of Playboy, and Polish photographers as well, as Marek Czudowski, for example.
Okay, so you have once again a variety of talent to choose from. As the magazine, where's the magazine sold in Poland? What kind of stores carry Playboy magazine?
That's funny. Of course, in every magazine stores with newspapers, but also in shops. Sometimes in supermarkets, but sometimes in shops with cheese or bread. You know, there are still shops like that in Poland, only with cheese and bread, and that's make it quite funny. I don't like to see the magazine like that in these shops, but you know, with many old ladies staying in the queue to buy just a little bit of white cheese, cottage cheese, let's say, or bread, they are not the
typical
right
reader,
typical reader of Playboy. But it was at the beginning when our distributor tried to put it everywhere. Now we know that the best places for Playboy, that's newsstands, bookshops, and big supermarkets.
Okay. Now, do you also have a subscription base?
Yeah, we do.
And how is that coming along? How are you able to build up subscribers and maintain that?
It's a long way. It's not as fast as in America, where many people subscribe many magazines. There is no such tradition in Poland yet, but about 20% of circulation that's for subscribers.
Now, is it difficult to send Playboy through the mail? Do you have any regulations?
No, not at all. It's a general interest magazine, so there are no problems with that. And this is Playboy in Poland is considered as a general interest magazine for men. This is entertainment for men and women. As I told you the last time we talked, 20% of our readers, that's women who fully like it. And
now, as a general interest magazine, how does it compare to other Polish magazines? Is it expensive? Is it inexpensive? What do people pay for an issue of Playboy?
It's quite expensive on excellent paper. It's beautifully done. This is probably the most beautiful, the most elegant magazine in Poland. It costs about $2, which is much cheaper than US Playboy,
edition.
but it is one of the most expensive magazines in Poland. And this is considered a sophisticated magazine. So we have only about 10% of returns, what is probably the lowest number of returns in Poland now.
It seems like you've started off on the right foot. You have a few hurdles to jump over, especially those boyfriends there. But knowing how popular you are and how successful you've been in your other endeavors, whether entertainment or writing or traveling, you have a very good inroad to that. And we wish you all the best in Poland. And we thank you for watching the American Journal. We hope you learned something about American enterprise in Poland, Playboy in Poland. We hope you watch next week here on the American Journal.